seeing people moving. Social media is becoming, if that's where their attention's going, how can I...
Is that you're quite adaptable, and I think that's very helpful for us.
Every good strategy comes with I'm looking very much at like the person who's going to kind of get their message across the best is those who are...
Welcome back to Beyond the Bottle. We are having a bit of a special podcast this week. We're having a marketing podcast with our marketing genius, is that fair to say?
No.
George, who is going to talk about a few things, a few different tips for people that are looking to improve their marketing. I think this is going to be quite useful for those people. Some of the reasons we do some of our marketing strategies. Tips, tricks and other things for people that maybe don't have a George.
Yeah, a bit of everything.
A bit of everything.
We'll call it, yeah. Let's, where do we start?
I know, well, how did you first get interested in marketing, George? Has this always been a secret passion?
No, I actually started off in media, post-production. I've always thought that I was going to go into media, post-production, and then I slowly was getting into that space, and then after a while, I just didn't have that spark that I thought that I did. And at the time, I was kind of in the background seeing people moving online a lot more, especially companies moving online into like the YouTube space and Instagram, and social media was becoming very prevalent at the time. So I thought, oh, okay, cool. Like if that's where their attention's going, how can I get into that? So I was working in the background kind of on my own kind of company at the time, and just to get myself into the industry essentially, because I had no prior marketing experience. So I was kind of like, right, well, if I want to get experience, I might as well just try something. So I started a little company, got a client, was working with those for a couple of years, just doing kind of social media strategy, taking over there.
What kind of industry was that?
They were a barbers.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, very different, obviously. But I would go in with a photographer once a month. We would build out their photo library that we would use across their socials for the rest of the month, schedule it, write all the content, and then we were working on other stuff with them, like videos. So it was a good way to get involved, and then I was just doing other jobs around marketing, and that's kind of been my evolution into marketing. So it's kind of very self-taught.
Yeah.
Which it's been nice because it means that I've been able to have a very versatile background. Like I've done photography, I've done videography, so a bit of everything. I don't really like to say that I specialise in one particular area, because I think marketing nowadays, you have to be very versatile, especially, there's only a couple of us doing marketing in the company.
Definitely.
So we kind of have to adapt and wear multiple hats.
But I think that's one of your strengths, is that you're quite adaptable, and I think that's very helpful for us as a business, your versatility, and that, we do different things, like a podcast, like our socials thing, like some of the stuff you put out on LinkedIn is quite good. So bearing in mind not everyone can have a George, what would be, so if you were a company listening to this now and you were thinking, what can I take away from this? What would be some good strategies? What would be like 3 top things that you would say would be useful for marketing?
Come up with a plan at first. I think every good strategy comes with a plan first. Sit down, start to develop, right, what do we do? What do we offer? And then how can we build that into a content plan? And then with that comes consistency. You've got to be consistent. You need a plan in place to make sure that you're producing and putting out regular content. We've kind of gone down a different route with things like the podcast, which means that we can take this full episode and then we'll be able to take the smaller segments and put that across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. So we're kind of in a good position of creating a constant cycle of content, which is industry focused. So even previous episodes, we can still look back at those, take parts of those and repurpose them, put them out, because they're always going to be of interest, which is good. So yeah, build the plan, be consistent, and
Visibility.
yeah, visibility. And for me, I think it's being different.
Yeah.
I think it's being different, and I think we had this conversation previously of, you know, I've gone to trade shows, and obviously when I look at stands and I'm walking around, a lot of time that I'm obviously thinking from a marketing perspective, so I'm looking very much at like the visuals, the message that people are trying to get across to people, and it's so text heavy, and everyone's kind of trying to have the same message. And you know, if you fill a room up with 20 people and they're all trying to say the same thing, I think the person who's going to kind of get their message across the best is those who are doing something slightly different, a bit more out there, a bit more bold. So yeah, that's kind of what I would start to advise if you're not doing anything at all. It's always a good place to start.
My background before ProTec Nutra was magazine advertising and online advertising and events. And to be fair, back then, the first thing we ever did was make a plan, and it was about consistency. So we'd say, I mean, I wouldn't sell an advertising plan to someone that had less than 3 insertions.
No.
Because first one they might see, second one they'll read, and the third one they'll do something about generally. So it's a minimum of 3.
Yeah.
But that's consistency.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fourth one is visibility, making sure you're in the right spot. So
Definitely.
I suppose, but then it's really different things, because obviously magazine advertising is now probably considered, I mean, I still think it's fantastic. It's always going to have a place, but probably quite old school. Whereas the stuff that you excel at, as well as the graphics magazine advertising, because I've seen some very good stuff, George.
Yeah.
But is being creative with the socials, and very kind of probably considered new wave marketing, maybe.
Yeah, I think print media, it's obviously not going anywhere. Otherwise, magazines would essentially not be a thing today, but they still are. And everyone, you flick through any magazine, people are still putting ads in them. So
I think niche
it
ones
must
are always
work.
going to have a place.
Mm,
Like industry specific niche ones.
yeah.
I think that unbiased information is always going to have a place. People are always going to want to read news about specific industries that you are in. I think that's always going to be valuable. But I think diverse magazines, you're probably going to struggle. But I mean, the social stuff, all of that, it's just everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's definitely not going anywhere. And I think when you look at B2B, it's very different, because you've got to be slightly different with what you're doing. I think you can still take elements of B2C marketing and apply it. So I think with things like the podcast, we are, from what I can see, we haven't got much competition in the space.
Those are famous last words, George. What are you doing?
It might be famous last words, yeah. But in terms of that, when I was doing the research, there aren't many companies in our space that are doing these things. So to develop this as early as possible, and the fact that we can start putting it, and this is the thing, people that would start something like this, I think they will want the instant payoff and instant gratification of doing a podcast. They'll be like, why haven't we got 10,000 subscribers? Why aren't we getting millions of views? And it's one of those that you have to just keep doing. And like I said, it allows us to produce so much more content, because we can just take it and repurpose it wherever we want. So yeah, definitely a new wave. But going back to your point on print, I think it's great, and we do a lot of it still. So I've been here for 3 years now, and we've always gone in waves of doing the print-based side of things. So if we've got a trade show coming up, recently with Health Food Business, we've done a lot with them in terms of double page spreads and company focus.
Little shout out to Health Food Business.
Well,
Can't go wrong with that team.
I mean, that's who we've been doing them with. So,
Yeah.
it only feels natural to mention them. But, yeah, I think the direction is interesting as to where B2B marketing's going. I think video isn't going anywhere. And I think more companies will slowly realise the importance of doing things like this and at trade shows, producing the videos when they're at trade shows. So that's kind of what I've started to implement at the shows, putting together the post-show video now and the highlights of the show.
If people haven't seen George's, and that is George, his post-show videos from VitaFoods, go and check it out because it is, I think, fantastic. Like the music and everything, it's I think you captured the show quite well. Will you be doing one for Making Nutraceuticals?
Yeah.
I think you should.
It's already out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean next year.
Oh, next year, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We've got a bigger stand. We've obviously got new artwork that was a thing of this year. So I think I would say so myself, a little bit biased, but I think the stand looks great in terms of the artwork. It's a bit bolder, it's a bit more eye-catching. And I think we had some good feedback on it. So if I say so myself.
Yeah, the hard work's paying off, George.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think it's just being different, you know. And if you look at marketing and kind of what I do, things like trade shows, people must, I don't know what people think if you're not putting together a trade show, how long those kind of things take or the early stages. But we're starting those 6 months in advance of a trade show. So we're kind of putting wheels in motion for shows that are happening in October, November, September, kind of around now. So things start a lot earlier in marketing than what people think. So
I think that's very true. I think, all those thoughtful details. So what do you think companies are getting wrong, George? What do you think are the pitfalls when it comes to marketing, especially B2B, because this is our audience?
Yeah, I think it's going back to that wanting to stand out and, you know, disruptive. That's kind of what I'm trying to be a little bit more of at the moment, a bit more eye-catching, a bit more out there. You know, I've got some designs and potential campaigns in the works that might have people going like, oh, God, that's a bit out there. But I think it's better to be out there and eye-catching because, like I said, everyone, when you go to a trade show or when you see their social media and LinkedIn, everyone's trying to put across the same message in the same way. So I think it's easy to get lost in the noise. And this is a big industry. And don't get me wrong, like, it's a small industry when you're in it and you start meeting people and speaking to people. But I think, how can you be slightly just different?
So don't be afraid to stand out.
Yeah, don't be afraid to stand out. Do something that other people aren't doing. Trial it, test it, and if it don't work, you know, you can stop it and try something else.
Yeah, that's true. And so I think because you helped a couple of my customers recently, didn't you, with some of their branding?
Yes.
Thank you very much for doing that.
That's okay.
But I think what were some of the things that you said to them? So if you were launching a B2C company and you wanted to do some sort of marketing to let people know about your product, what would be your key points?
I think it takes a bit more time to implement. I think first you need to speak to your potential customers to see like what they want, what's kind of their pain points, and I think you need to really target a customer's like pain points and fill that gap, like be the solution to their problem. It depends what you're really going for because everyone kind of positions, you might have exactly the same product, but someone might market it completely in two different ways.
I mean, I've certainly seen that with my customers, that some of them get the marketing so well and the product absolutely flies, and some of them are just, I think the marketing has fallen down, and I think that's where some of them differentiate.
What do you think the fall down points are?
One of my old colleagues, she said that if you're not advertising, what you're essentially doing is winking in a nightclub in the dark. You know you're doing it, but
Yeah.
no one else knows you're doing it.
Yeah, okay. That's a good analogy.
I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. It's kind of putting those things in motion that allow you to market a product exactly how you want, and also doing things early and not being reactive, coming up with kind of the branding overall, and from that, how do you want your website to look? How do you want your social media to look? Are you going to do short form content, coming up with kind of those topics early that allow you to have, again, that plan put in place that allows companies to kind of think forward?
That makes sense. And I mean, talking of things that work and don't work, have there been any things that you've just gone, that's really not worked for me? Because it sounds like you're quite keen to try lots of different things, which, to be fair, works for us really well as a company at ProTec Nutra. What were some things that you tried that you're like, that's not quite been a win? Has there been anything, or has it all worked? I don't know.
I just have, do you know what? It's always been really good because I've had a lot of creative freedom since joining here. So ideas are able to be tested and executed quite easily. So I don't think, as of yet, we haven't had too many ideas that haven't, at least, you know, we're sitting here doing a podcast
Touch
now,
wood.
and we're on episode 6,
Something like
7, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you're the guy that controls usually, so surely,
Exactly.
George.
But we're testing, and I
Yeah.
think this has just been such a good way to kind of get our message out in a way that other people aren't. So, no, I'm going to touch wood here somewhere, and hopefully things continue in the right direction.
Yeah.
In the right direction.
So, talking about continuing, is there any kind of opportunities that you are most excited about coming up? Anything that you just think could be really good, or that you have plans that, you know, we don't know about? Or is it all top secret? I mean, God knows.
Something's in the works,
Ooh.
and I don't want to ruin it too early, just in case it don't happen.
This is a marketing podcast, George.
It is a marketing
People have come
podcast.
here for tips and tricks.
But people
Don't be
might take
coy
those.
now.
People might take the tips and tricks, and we can't have that just
Yeah,
yet.
but just a little bit.
No, one thing that we have been doing recently is the mini-series and the blogs, and how we're structuring kind of those email campaigns and the blog side of things. So rather than just putting out one blog for one topic, we're now looking at that as a mini-series across 4 weeks, and how can we keep our audience engaged and reading about the same topic so that they gain what knowledge they might need in a informed decision about a product. I think we've done 2 so far, but it allows us to just look at a topic for an extended period of time, which I think is sometimes nicer than just putting out a blog and it being a flash and pan.
Well, of course it is. And it's also following your own plan of consistency, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, yeah, following your own advice, plan, consistency, visibility.
Yeah.
Retelling the
we're
message,
just testing
different
things.
angles. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
We're testing things at the moment as well. One thing that we are trying to be more proactive at is the analytical side of things, actually. So on our website, we've now got a whole host of information and data that we haven't had before, that is now picking up our recent campaigns that have gone out on LinkedIn and MailChimp, and we now have the data as to how many people have come over from these other platforms, we can now see customer journeys. We can now see everyone's kind of journey through the website, what decisions they're making.
Journey through the website.
I know. So that will allow us as well to make better decisions when it comes to marketing, the topics that we're talking about. Is there something that we're seeing more people way more interested in than others, so that we know, right, let's produce more content in this area than that area this month. And then that feeds in with Google Analytics. So everything's being mapped out now that we weren't doing before and we haven't done before. So it's kind of getting these things in motion to build a better knowledge of what our customers are doing on our website and what decisions they're making, which should allow, sales to make better informed decisions about what they want to be talking about with their customers. And also, if sales are seeing anything that might be trending, to feedback to us so that we can produce more content on that product or topic or range.
Well, I mean, sales and marketing have always, since the dawn of time, works incredibly closely together. But I think we do quite have chats about trends and topics and all that stuff outside of the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And try and work together on those sorts of things, don't we?
We're always talking trends and topics. And
always.
Work.
Keep your finger on the pulse, George.
Yeah, we're always just talking work.
Thank you.
That's okay.
So much for letting us pick your brains, George,
Yeah,
and sharing your tips and tricks.
Yeah, I'm going back behind the camera now, where I quite rightly belong. I'm not an in front of camera person, so yeah.
But you can do our sign out, I think.
Okay. The sign out. I have to remember all of our own platforms now. So you can follow us on social media on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Remember to subscribe to us on Spotify and our YouTube channel, where you can keep up with all the latest information. We can't wait to see you in the next episode, where it will be the original 3 that you're used to seeing, not me.
God, that was flawless, George.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.